How did I make my first $1 million in real estate? Well, I started back in Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I was selling firewood while I was going to school and making $200 a cord. And I thought, man, I can't do this forever. So when I graduated, I got married and I had my real estate license. And I thought, well, I'll put that to work and see if it works. And I started selling real estate, made a little bit of money. And, I had bought a condo while I was in college. My parents were nice enough to loan me, I think, $20,000 to put down on a $100,000 condo. You can't do that anywhere. The San Luis Obispo, certainly not. Newport Beach, I don't even think you get a mobile home or a car for that matter. But back in 1987 or whenever I bought my first house, I put 20% down, got a 9% interest rate, which I thought was fantastic at the time. And that thing went up to about 180,000. I sold it and rented after I got married. And then, just kind of the domino effect. I made a few bucks selling real estate, and then I bought a rental. After I traded out of my condo and bought a little bit bigger house for my wife and I. And as we were having children, we had a lot of expenses, but we were focused on working, so we didn't spend a lot of money. And we took the money and bought a little rental property, I think for 170,000, and rented it out for 2,000. I took a 3-bedroom with a living room and a family room. They used to actually make houses like that. And I took the family room and I converted it into 2 bedrooms and put a bathroom in the middle. So now I had a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. And we rented that out for 2,000 a month. Thought it was all the money in the world because it covered the mortgage and everything, had a positive cash flow. And then we bought another one, and we bought another one, bought another one, until we finally had enough. And then we exchanged those into a piece of land and built a small subdivision. And then instead of selling them, I kept them. And those darn things went up. I can't even remember the exact years, but within 2 years they were worth 400,000, and all of a sudden, 2 or 3 years later, they were worth $1 million a piece, and I had like 11 of them. So it's just one of those things. It's a lot about timing, but the first $1 million, some people say it's the hardest to make, and some people say it's the easiest. I just think being smart with your money and, don't get divorced. That's the Eddie Murphy says don't get divorced because it's a 4-letter word. It's called half. I'm saying, you know what? It screws with everything. And then when you slam right into 2010, 8, 9, and 10, like we did, the worst housing crisis ever, bye-bye money. So, the first million could be tough. It could be easy. Just get out there and play the game.